Welcome to Community News and Review, recorded live at Alpine Jaguar in Fort Lauderdale. Community News and Review takes today's issues with solutions and broadcasts it to the community on 1230 WBZT and on iHeart across the USA. Also internationally on the World Wide Web. Now, here's your host, Philip Bell, the voice of community for over 4 years.
On today's program, celebrating their 21st year, Gateway Community Outreach, who has helped over 700,000 families pay their rent, pay their mortgage, feed their family, and not just one time, but multiple times until they're strong on their feet. Having received a proclamation recently from the city of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition of their achievement, we're very pleased to have Carol Ray, Executive Director, Founder of Gateway Community Outreach. Also, organizations that have helped this great charity, such as Hendrick Honda of Pompano Beach, we're very pleased to have General Manager Tom Edwards, and Corporate Capital Direct, a leading business lender, founder Rob Denton. Also from Kendra Scott, a jewelry store in Boca Raton, Meisner Park, a wonderful place, where they're going to be holding an event today. And again, it's in Meisner Park, and we're featuring Trina Homestead. This is in support, again, for Community Gateway Outreach. Okay, ready? Okay. Also, Vice Mayor from Deerfield Beach, Richard Rosenzweig. And this is regarding a proclamation. It's really important to understand how this recognition and, something, it's about time. Did you know that Fort Lauderdale was actually named after Major Lauderdale? You would if you took Strange True Tours in Fort Lauderdale, who recently obtained a 2016 Certificate of Excellence from TripAdvisor. Today, we're very pleased to have the founder, Reverend Master Jeffrey, who will be giving us the 411 regarding ghosts, legends, and lore of Fort Lauderdale. First of all, I'd like to say good evening to my co-host, Lon Smith.
Good evening, Phil Bell.
And good evening to our co-host, Eric Yankwit.
Good evening, all in one.
Since you joined us, Eric, I guess people are calling us the Three Amigos. My fiance calls us the Three Stooges. But
who's Larry? Who's Larry?
I hate to tell you what my wife calls you behind your back.
Ooh, well, that's all right. You should know what she calls you.
Ooh.
Oh, but this is a wonderful time. First time Gateway came into my life was actually through Rob Denton, who's a good supporter of it. And they're the best kept secret. But that is changing. That is changing. They've helped so many people. And first of all, I'd like to say welcome and good evening to Carol Ray.
Good evening, all of you. Thank you for letting me be here. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I mean that. Carol, from where you were, I want our audience to understand it's a true story. You started out, with 2 cans of corn?
Yes. That was my first food drive. It yielded 2 cans of corn, and I thought, now what do I do? And
right.
I said, Carol, you just have to give it away. And I did. And it went from that to a small refrigerator, a small pantry, and then it just kept growing.
When you started, the location always was in Deerfield Beach.
We were in Pompano Beach, and we were on Gateway Drive for a while. That was that was after we had named it Gateway. And then 3 years later, we moved into Deerfield, where my husband and I are residents there, and that's where our main administrative office is.
Well, it's interesting because some of the highlights, especially last December, was an article for Sun Sentinel, and I guess a videotaping on the subject of food deserts for senior citizens?
Food deserts.
Deserts.
Yes. Senior citizens is another pocket of people that we help, and because most of them are on Social Security, they are really, really having a hard time feeding themselves. They take care of their medical bills and everything else. A lot of this is in Century Village, which is near Deerfield, our main office. We see a lot of them at one of our sites at First Baptist in Deerfield, trying to help them get through all these desperate times of just finding food. One of the Sun Sentinel editors came and was investigating this for quite some time, and I ended up giving them information and doing a part of the documentary for that.
Well, the way I understand it, you've extended partnerships with Whole Food Market, Walmart, Papa John, and other local businesses as well.
That's correct.
So they see the value of having you part of their team in terms of their community outreach.
Absolutely. It's been great.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the proclamation. That was June 7th, 2016, and this was an award proclamation from the city of Deerfield Beach. And Vice Mayor Rosenzweig, what does this proclamation mean?
It means that we recognize Cal-Ray and the Gateway Food Bank
Right.
in feeding thousands of people, taking care of hundreds of thousands of different residents for different needs beyond food, that when I found out and attended their anniversary party last spring, I was shocked. I didn't even know they were there, and they're located really within blocks of City Hall. And so to find out what they're doing and how vast and wide their care is, and I live in Century Village, I wasn't aware that my village where I live, we have people going hungry. And so we do food drives, but we give food to the Baptist Church and others in District 2.
Sure.
But was not aware of the Gateway, so we'll have to make sure that I inform my people there that, we do that. And I know that at one point, Gateway even tried to set up a pantry within Century Village, but space and things weren't available, but that doesn't mean we've given up on that idea.
Well, Century Village, for our listeners in Deerfield Beach,
Yes.
they have, about 20,000 residents?
In season, between 15 and 20,000.
Right.
Yes.
That is huge.
It is.
That is absolutely huge. And, Carol, when it comes to helping the families, and you just don't help them just once, is that correct? If someone has need, you continually are there for them.
Yes, we put them on a 90-day treatment plan. And when the extra needs, such as rents and mortgages, we see them also at the office. They're kept on this plan for 90 days, and if they haven't fulfilled the stabilization part of it,
Right.
we extend that time for them until they're on their own.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing as well. But you shared something with me, and I did research, and you know your stuff. Rents are out of control in Broward County. Absolutely. 40% of the average worker's income is going for housing, and that means I'm talking about for renters as well. So while things are getting better, the foreclosure, I think, crisis caused this because people need a place to live. They lose their home, and it's the old supply and demand as well.
Well, the newest figures just came out, and it's now 48% of the income. Miami-Dade County and Broward County are listed as number 2 in the nation for the highest rent. Brooklyn, New York is the first. So with all the people that we have coming in, they need this help with rents and mortgage and trying to find housing that is affordable for them, which has been very, very difficult. Very difficult.
And a wonderful organization, Hendrick Honda of Pompano Beach. And Tom Edwards is here. And good evening, Tom.
Hi, Philip. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you coming in. And it's funny, in our conversation before you coming on there, I said, I really do like to buy American. And he said, well, then you should buy Honda.
Absolutely. Honda is the highest percentage of vehicles made in the U.S. Can we just redo that?
Right.
Honda, yeah, absolutely, Phil. Honda actually makes more of their vehicles in the U.S. than any manufacturer, including any of the domestics. So we're a very American company.
I come from the old school trust but verify, and you know your stuff. What you're saying, anybody could Google and you'll find it. I did. So I was not aware of that, but it makes sense. It does, especially because it's expensive to ship cars from overseas to here. That's the added value. As a matter of fact, I overheard Vice Mayor Rosenzweig say that he's driving a Prius so he could go in the high occupancy lanes. But those are great cars. Let me ask you, Tom, dealerships have been known for a long time to be standing in the community they live. I mean, myself, playing Little League as a kid, we wouldn't have had a team without a dealership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phil, I mean, that was a real great joy for me in this. I grew up in Georgia and not in Atlanta, so there are a lot of small towns in Georgia.
Right.
And I always remember whenever there were community initiatives or events going on that the car dealers were really at the center of that. And so for me as a car dealer now to be part of that and to work with Gateway Community it brought me back to childhood and was a real joy.
Well, I passed by your place so many times. You're off of Federal Highway in Pompano, just towards the end before you go into Fort Lauderdale. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're just before you go into Deerfield at the north side. So,
Oh, Deerfield.
yeah.
Ah.
So between Hillsborough and Sample.
Oh, Hillsborough and Sample, sure. So I passed it many more times. There's a good Starbucks there. I'll admit I do go to Starbucks, but
I've
really.
been there many times myself.
Matter of fact, I was there actually today as well. You know, Carol, you bring people into the fold who want to help. And there's only so many qualified charities. And I saw you say qualified because, like anything else, there's good and bad in any industry as well. And within charities, there's issues like March of Dimes. The truth of the matter, March of Dimes, and this is not me saying it, anybody could find it, 10% goes to the cause. 90% goes for marketing and administration cost as well. Within Gateway Community Outreach, the money that you raise, how much of it actually goes to the cause?
19% is administration, so
Yeah.
the other 81%.
81%. That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And that's done because we have 3 full-time staff and 1 part-time.
Mm-hmm.
Our building, when we moved in, we purchased it and paid it off in 11 months. Our overhead is just the normal nonprofit insurances, etc. And we make this happen because we have 296 volunteers. In all
296?
Yes.
Wow.
That's in our 7 sites, and we're getting
Right.
ready to open another site in Pompano within the next month.
I'd like to make a positive comment and endorsement.
Okay.
Talking about endorsements, huh? I've known Carol Ray through my daughters and through the radio program for a number of years, and I can really say, watching her operate and what they do at Community Outreach Center, Gateway Community Outreach, is that Carol Ray casts a ray of hope to needy families in building them, not only giving, but monitoring. You can't just give and not monitor. You've got to hold accountable. And that is growing, as I can understand it, families in being more responsible for what they get, what they receive, and how they spend it. So, Carol Ray, thank you for your ray of hope.
Oh, thank you very
Right.
much. No pun intended with
No
the ray.
pun intended.
Right, that's what I meant. You're right.
I'm sure he planned that.
I'm sure.
How do you qualify for services?
You just have to have a need. And whatever that need is, we respond to it. You're seen first at a site where we direct that to the closest geographical area that you're in, because we have them all throughout the county. And we go through a case evaluation assessment. The volunteers send the files back to Gateway, and our caseworkers go over them thoroughly to see what their needs are, besides giving them emergency food when they arrive. So it's done on a weekly basis, and it's based upon anybody needing. And that's from CEOs that we've had.
Right.
This is anybody that...
Right. My wife used to work for Family Success Administration
Oh, yeah,
for Broward
okay.
County, and they had a similar program, but they didn't help unlimitedly. They helped only if you qualified and you had to have a basic income plan and status.
Right.
And we saw everybody. Well, she saw. I'm sorry, doctors, lawyers,
Right.
everybody.
Yeah, we work very closely with Broward County. We partner with them, and I'm also the local EFSP chair of FEMA funds. So all the funding that comes in from there, we oversee at Gateway, and including Broward County government funds from EFSP. So we have a close relationship.
But the thing I understand about your organization is that you stop the homeless issue. In other words, they come to you before there's a crisis that would, lead them on the street, so to speak.
Yeah, we're in homeless prevention. Usually it's where they have an eviction notice or they're going to be homeless. And that's when we try to just get in there and help them to stay in their place or find a new place for them as soon as we can. We have a very fast track record to getting people stabilized. In fact, that rate is 43% right now
Wow.
of the population we see.
Wow, I did not know, because you read the papers, you see the stock market, things to be coming back strong, in construction and so forth. We have to take a break, station identification as well. And we're speaking with Carol Ray from Gateway Community Outreach. I'm Phil Bell, along with
Lon Smith.
and
Eric Yankwit.
we're going to be right back.
Eric Yankwit.
And we're going to be right back.
Eric.
Welcome back to Community News and Review, coming to you recorded from Alpine Jaguar in Fort Lauderdale. And now, the voice of the community, your host, Philip Bell.
Back. Yeah, we are back. Alpine Jaguar, Cypress Creek in 95. Great place to be. I'm very pleased to have Carol Ray here from Gateway Community Outreach, and she's doing a great job on those keyboards. Good job, Carol.
Yeah, thank you.
And you know, it's now after 20. I call you a 20-year success story, because now things are starting to really kick in for you. From the community to support to the recognitions from the city of Deerfield as well, and other organizations, such as Kendra Scott Jewelry. I'd like to say good evening to Trina Homestead.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, they didn't name Homestead after you, did they?
No, they didn't.
You can't. You
People
were,
always mix that up. Nope.
You were afterwards as well. Well, you're having an event for support, and I know at least 9-10 women are showing up, and these are people who actually know of your place, and they think, wow, what a great reason to go shopping, support a charity, and buy some jewelry.
Yeah, that's really the essence of our company. Our pillars are family, fashion, and philanthropy, and our company was created as a vehicle of giving back. So it's something that we love to do and we're passionate about.
But, you know, when I think of Meisner Park, I think of very high end. You know, the Tony Bahama shirts that are like
Right.
$200 and so forth. But I understand it's not the case. You have really fun, functional wear with real gemstones.
Yes, and that's what she was looking to create. There was this empty market with the middle prices that provided beautiful pieces that were quality pieces at attainable prices, and that she really felt that every woman deserves a great piece of jewelry that has genuine stones, beautiful metals, and that's what she went out to do.
Well, people do want to help support charities, but they also want to have fun. When my fiancee Stacy put it on the FAU's website to let people know, all of a sudden, boom, there was 6, 7, people who signed up, says, I'm going to be there. And you have the RSVPs as well. So it's exciting to me to see things progress in a very positive way. It's going to be a great, successful event.
Yes.
First of all, it's inside, not outside,
Right. Yes.
which is a good thing for this time of year.
Definitely, and we're really excited to partner with Gateway Community Outreach and just really giving back. And with this event, our Kendra Gives Back Party, 20% of the general proceeds will be going back to them. We'll have sips and sweets, lots of fun, and we really hope everyone can come and join us.
So it's open to men as well.
It is open to men. We do have cufflinks for anyone interested, and we have a lot of fun for everyone.
You know, my fiance says it's open to men to go to Town Center Mall, and I go there and I see all the men sitting there holding the packages while the women are in there touching things. It just drives me crazy to go shopping with her because she'll say, "Do you like this?" I say, "Yeah, it looks good. Get it." "Oh no, I don't want to get this," because there's more things to touch, as well. But we're going to come back to you. I want to take a little time to speak with Tom Edwards, Hendrick Honda, Pompano Beach. Now, Tom. The support of this, how did you actually get involved? How did you find out about Gateway?
Well, Philip, we did this, our project in association with the Honda Week of Service, which was the week of July 10th. And around the nation, Honda dealers did individual events for local charities, the Honda Motor Company, the factories, the vendors, everyone was involved. And it was a great success. And at Hendrick Honda Pompano Beach, we wanted to make sure we were doing something local. So we did a lot of research on the local charities, and what really impressed us about Gateway Community Outreach, Carol, is that the job you guys do with so little. Like you mentioned, just 3 full-time employees, and to help 80,000 families a year is just so impressive. So after looking at the various options, we decided Gateway was the way to go. So we had a really successful, I think, food drive, and also raised some cash contributions for Gateway, and are excited about working with them again in the future.
Well, that is beautiful. Please keep me in the loop. I'd love to make announcements, bring people to your wonderful dealership as well. And the joke is regarding the cars. You have wonderful cars, and there's people out there that say, "Oh, well, Honda, I'd rather buy American." I'm emphasizing that again because to me, I was so surprised to know Honda's American-made.
Yeah, we have factories in Ohio, Indiana, Alabama.
Yep.
It's 85 to 90% of our cars, the engines, the motors, the parts are all made in the United States.
That's excellent. That is excellent. And one little trivia for our audience. The Honda dealership, while you're located one here, you have many throughout the country. And as a matter of fact, the organization itself has over 10,000 employees. Plus, I think they're the 6th largest privately owned business in the country.
We are the largest dealer group in the country, privately owned. We're the 6th largest, including the Publix.
Wow.
Of dealer groups. Yeah, we're part of the. I'm part of the Hendrick Automotive Group, which was founded by Rick Hendrick in 1976. People probably know him more from NASCAR. He's the team owner for Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson,
right?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. So he grew up on a farm, and he's got in the car business as he went through college. And we now own 102 dealerships around the country and have 10,000 employees. And it's a real people company, so it's a real privilege to work for Mr. Hendrick. He puts people first, and he always tells us to put people first our employees, then our customers and community. And that's part of why we wanted to do this project with Gateway. So.
Beautiful. I understand he loves Florida so much he's now making it a home here for himself.
Yes, he has 2 homes. He has one down in Key West, and he has one in Fort Lauderdale on the Intercoastal. So he is spending most of his time down in the Fort Lauderdale area, right, and setting that up as his permanent residence.
Well, being that he's having a home in Key West, I want to make him my new best friend.
Yeah, you and me both.
As a matter of fact, maybe one time we could figure out how to get him actually on here to talk about the issues, and especially regarding racing. I think that would be interesting to my audience.
I'm sure he would love to do that.
Great. Now that I know where you work, I won't leave you alone on that as well. Carol Ray, you didn't curse the darkness. You lit a match. And it's so true. In the United States, one person can and does make a difference as well. But I think ignorance is bliss. I don't think you knew what you were up against when you said somebody's got to do something, and you decided you were going to be the one.
Yeah, it's shocking when I look back and go to work every day. Yes. I'm very thankful where it's at and where it's going. I really am. We're doing more and more things, and
well, that's just it. You are doing more and more things. Mm-hmm. I actually did some MC work for you at the Huron Bay Golf Club.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As well, and I know Rob Denton had a little too much fun. He was fun to watch swing those clubs, and Alpine Jaguar even donated a car for a hole in 3, a hole in 1, and a par 3. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's a safe bet because nobody won, but still, they were kind enough to do that, right. And they're very happy to help in any way they possibly can when it comes to that as well. When it comes to the support and the organizations, because while I'm highlighting, of course, Kendra Scott Jewelry, and of course Corporate Capital Direct with Rob Denton, who'll be on briefly, and now of course Hendrick Honda, your most recent supporter as well, Hendrick Honda in Pompano Beach. It seems like it's the chicken and the egg. It takes one to get to the other, and now that you're out there. Organizations can make a vital role. They don't have to be there on a day-to-day volunteering or things like that, but certainly they could help with the food drives and raising funds and even car washes and things like that. I mean, I'll have Lon put on a Speedo and he'll wash cars for you.
Well,
Please, another image. Quick.
Spare the world.
Quick.
This is true. This is true. Getting back to Hendrick Honda and Tom Edwards, you guys do other things besides this in terms of community outreach. Is that correct?
Well, in Hendrick Honda Pompano Beach and throughout the Hendrick Group, we're involved with many charitable organizations around the country. We have Mr. Hendrick has several foundations. He has the largest bone marrow foundation in the country. And our dealerships during the Honda Week of Service, all of our Honda dealerships participated. We have 15 Honda dealerships in 8 states, and we were involved in blood drives, and people worked at food distribution centers and fed the homeless, and there was just so many things that went on. Worked with Susan B. Komen and raised funds for them at our Daytona dealership. So we were involved in the community. It's one of the mandates for each of us that runs dealerships to be involved in our communities.
And for the event at Kendra Scott in beautiful Meisner Park, and that's today when this is being broadcast. Mm-hmm. It begins, I believe, at 6 o'clock?
5:30.
5:30 till what time?
8:30.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Yes, perfect. It's a great amount of time for shopping and giving 20% back. We are looking to get the best we can for Gateway Community Outreach.
Excellent. I love hearing that, and I know that you'll make it happen as well. You're a real go-getter.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Gateway Community Outreach is an organization that helps feed families, help keep them within their homes, and other ancillary things, even water bills, I assume, and electric as well. But what you're known for is the old adage of you give them a fish, they have a meal. You give them a fishing rod, well, they have a meal for life.
That's right.
So you actually help them understand fiscal responsibility.
Absolutely. We partner with Consolidated Credit, and through them, we give seminars on budgeting, first-time home buyers, anything that you can think of financially. So we have that to offer them. They come to our sites, or they do it on a one-to-one or a webinar, because we want to make sure that they're progressing in all that they do. And finances is one of the largest areas, and they're moving fine. I mean, they're really doing really well in these different classes now.
You know, I used to produce educational programming for public television, Discovery Channel, National Geographic. People like that stuff. They've seen my work over the years. You truly have a great story to tell. You really do, and inspiration as well. And I sincerely mean that. You know, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be coming back with Rob Denton, who is the one who introduced me to your organization. I'm so glad that he did. And that's his business is Corporate Capital Direct. And I'm Phil Bell, along with
Lon Smith.
And Eric Yankwit.
Yep, the Three Amigos, and we'll be coming right back with Rob Denton. Three Amigos, and we'll be coming right back with Rob Denton. Three Amigos.